Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to episode 191 of Enter Crypto, where twice a day I keep you informed and fully up to date on all things crypto. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I put out a new video every 12 hours. So tonight we're going to be talking about an article I found in CoinDesk's policy section, and it's about a Chinese billionaire. This particular article is titled "Chinese Businessman with Ties to Steve Bannon Arrested, Charged with Fraud, Including a $500 million Crypto Scam." So, for anyone who doesn't know, Steve Bannon is, if I remember correctly, he's a Republican and he's one of Donald Trump's friends. I think he was definitely part of the campaign when Trump came to presidency, and I think he was the campaign manager. But I could be wrong about that. So let's just read through the article, we'll get stuck in, and then at the end we'll comment. So overall, Guo Wengui is accused of engaging in multiple schemes that defrauded investors out of $1.4 billion. Exiled Chinese businessman Guo Wengui was arrested in New York on Wednesday morning and charged with fraud for allegedly orchestrating a series of fraudulent schemes that bilked retail investors out of a collective $1.4 billion. Hours after his arrest, Guo's luxury penthouse apartment on Manhattan's Upper East Side caught fire, burning for 2 hours before firefighters were able to put out the blaze. The FBI is reportedly investigating the fire. The 15-room apartment is currently on the market for $32.5 million. That's really strange. I didn't know. I'm reading this for the first time along with you all, so I mean, that just looks unusual, doesn't it? As if you was kind of trying to destroy evidence or something, something like that. When you've got something like this and you get a fire that's kind of on the same, same day as being arrested. That's really weird. So, out of Guo's 4 alleged schemes, 3 were related to GTV Media Group, the Chinese social media company formed in April 2020 by Guo and Steve Bannon, a longtime ally and former advisor to US President Donald Trump. The 3 alleged schemes raised an estimated $857 million. Bannon was arrested on Guo's yacht, the 152-foot-long Lady May, in August 2020 and charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering in connection to a crowdfunding effort to build a border wall between the US and Mexico. Bannon has not been charged with any wrongdoing in connection with GTV. You know, one of the problems that we've got now with the law and politics and people not trusting the FBI and people not trusting the, whether it be the National Crime Agency in the UK or Scotland Yard or the FBI or any sort of financial fraud enforcers or anything like that, is that when we mix it with politics, it's kind of now with Steve Bannon, because he was so interlinked with Donald Trump, who is such a controversial figure, whether you love him or hate him, it's difficult to know what's true or not, because even if he gets brought, even if the FBI investigate him, it's kind of, the FBI has become a bit political now. So as we've learned with all the Twitter, the Twitter revelation, shall we call it, so you don't really know whether it's true or not, and if he's going to get a fair trial. It's really sad state of affairs over there. We've got a little bit of it in the UK as well. So Guo's 4th alleged scheme, which the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, said in a separate civil complaint raised $500 million from retail, was an unrelated crypto venture called Hcoin or Himalaya Coin beginning in October 2021. Guo founded and promoted Hcoin, telling his social media followers that the currency was 20% backed by gold and promising to cover 100% of investment losses attributable to Hcoin. 4 months later, in February 2022, Guo filed for bankruptcy, claiming assets valued between $50 and $100K and liabilities of up to $500 million. Despite his claims of poverty, the DOJ announced on Wednesday that it seized over $630 million of alleged fraud proceeds from 21 different bank accounts controlled by Guo between September 2022 and March 2023. Before declaring bankruptcy, Guo lived lavishly, a lifestyle prosecutors say was funded by unsuspecting investors. Guo is charged with lining his pockets with the money he stole, including buying himself and his close relatives a 50,000 square foot mansion, a $3.5 million Ferrari, and even two $36,000 mattresses, and financing a $37 million luxury yacht. The US Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, said, Guo's US legal troubles are not his first. In 2014, the former billionaire fled his native China in anticipation of fraud charges and became a vocal critic of the Chinese Communist Party. Guo, who is wanted by the Chinese government, filed an application for a political asylum in the US in 2017, and that application remains pending. So, still very early stages with this, and because he's a billionaire and because he's interlinked with the Republicans and really prominent voices from within the Republican Party, it's really hard to like we could say with SBF, for example, that was a fraud case. I mean, we just know that he's lied. I know he's lied because I've read his tweets, and I know I can see the on-chain data for myself. I can verify it for myself, so I know he's talking nonsense and just basically trying to lay blame on other people. Whereas with this, I just don't know enough about it, so I can't really comment about it. And who knows whether he's done something wrong or not. But one thing I will say is there's a really... when I looked at this, I thought, I recognise his face. And a few years ago, there was a documentary on, I think it was Vice News on YouTube. And I remember looking at this guy, and he was kind of like putting himself as an anti-corruption guy. That he was exposing corruption in China, and then that was the reason that he was exiled and had to come over here. Not over here, but over in the US. So what I'll do is I'll link that in the description box, so you can click on that and have a look. I think it's about 4 or 5 years old when I watched it. So yeah, check that out and have a look and see what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think and what whether you believe the Justice Department that are going after him, or whether you think he might not be doing it, whether he's just because he's a billionaire and because he's interlinked with Steve Bannon that maybe the Democrats are going after him for that reason. But one thing is for sure, I don't know. But thank you for watching as always, guys. Thank you for listening. Remember, everybody, to please subscribe to the channel, join my team, and I'll keep you updated on all things crypto every 12 hours. Don't forget to smash the like button if you feel you got value from this video, and I'll see you all in 12 hours time.